Hi, it's Brenda with Luke's Sewing, here to introduce the first day of our Luke's 12 Days of Stocking Stuffers. So this is going to be on our YouTube channel. Make sure that you like and subscribe because you don't want to miss any of these great projects that I think will make great gifts for girlfriend gifts and for friends and relatives. So we're going to start with our first one, and that is our microwave bowl. Great gift. Now you can see I'm using licensed university fabric. This is a great gift for students. So if you have college students, you know they're using a microwave to warm up ramen noodles or soup. So you can get licensed fabric to make your project. So I'm going to go with this and let's get started. We need to prepare our pieces. So you're going to take your fabric and your batting and we're going to sew corner to corner. Don't worry about back stitching. We're just getting these together. And of course, on this machine, I can go fast. Get my scissors. And let's sew the other one. All right, on to the first step. We're going to take our microwave bowl piece. Now, you'll notice that this is an odd shape, okay? It's actually a 10 by 10, but it's got rounded corners and then it has the darts. So this pattern piece is what we're going to use to make our microwave bowl. Now, you're going to want to stop in your Tri-County Luke store to get your complimentary pattern for your microwave bowl. This just makes it easier to make this project. So I'm going to take this piece, right sides together, and I'm going to sew each of these darts. Now, this is the outside of the bowl, and of course I have the inside. I've got fabric plus 100% cotton batting, 100% cotton thread. Make sure that you're using 100%. You can buy this, it's called Thread and Zap, and it is 100% cotton, not 95%, nothing with a polyester scrim, okay? So get your pattern from Tri-County, make sure you've got 100% cotton and batting and of course fabric. So I've got this folded in half. I'm using our M7 today with the HP foot, and that's going to give me a beautiful 1/4 inch seam. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this. And when I get to the end, I'm also going to reverse this so that my seam is locked in on the inside of my bowl. And hit my scissors, and I'm good to go. So I've got a nice 1/4 inch seam, reversed it to lock it in. Don't worry about this out seam, we're going to include that. So I'm going to do that on all 4 of the darts on both the outside pattern piece, and I'm going to do the same thing with my lining. Both pieces of fabric have batting. So when you do this, you need 2 pieces of fabric and 2 pieces of course, the 100% cotton batting. I'll meet you on the other side when I have all 8 of these darts sewn. All right, so I've got all 8 of my darts sewn, 4 on the feature fabric and of course 4 on the lining. You see it makes a bowl shape. I'm going to put one bowl inside the other, right sides together, and then I'm going to use my clips to hold them in place. Now, when you clip this in place, you're going to take those seams and you're going to nest them, meaning one folds right, one folds left, and put your clip there to hold it. I'm going to sew around the entire bowl with a 1/4 inch seam, but I'm going to leave a space open so that I can turn it inside out. So I'm going to go ahead and start sewing. And again, I'm using the M7 with the 1/4 inch foot. And I am going to back this up to lock in the stitching. Go around those corners. All right, so we're going to continue sewing around. And if you need to stop, that's fine. In fact, on this, I'm going to put my needle down so that it will pop up the foot and I can pivot and continue going around. And that was going over those seams, and yes, you're going to hear that. That's fine. pivot again, make sure I've got all my layers. All right, yeah, I've got a little ways more to go. Good, okay, because I wanted to make sure that I leave that opening so I can turn it inside out. Have I ever sewn these and forgot to leave an opening? You know it. I make all the mistakes for my ladies. All right, now as you might guess, okay, and I'm going to leave this open, so I'm going to lock this in. Okay, use my scissors. You can see I've got this area open here so I can turn it inside out. Now, I will tell you that when you go to turn this inside out, go ahead and take some sharp scissors and give yourself some clips around the curves here, okay, on the points. And then I also will give myself a little bit of a clip here at the seam. Use some good sharp scissors, okay? So I'm going to finish clipping these, and then I will meet you again to turn this inside out. All right, so all my curves are clipped. I put a few snips here at the seam meeting point. I'm going to turn this inside out. So where I've left this open, I'm going to reach all the way across to the far corner. This just makes it easier. Grab that corner and pull it through. Why do I do that? Because if it makes it easier, I'm all in. Let's turn this inside out. And the next thing we're going to do is smooth all the seams going around the project. Okay, so there's one of my corners, there's a seam, another corner. Push these all the way out as much as you can. And you know what I'm going to say next. And that's going to be top stitch. So I'm pushing these all out. So let me get that last corner. Now we've got our bowl. So I'm going to push the lining down in. I'm going to roll that seam to the edge. You've all done this before. Yes, that's my opening. I'm going to fold that in. Okay. Now, remember, you've got quite a few layers here. So a couple of things on that to remember. I would lengthen my stitch for this top stitching. I would lengthen it to a 3. I would also make sure that the needle I'm using is at least a 90-14. Why? That's a sturdier needle. You're going through lots of layers, and when you come on these seams here, you'll hear it when I go over. You'll hear a thump thump, okay? And that's okay. The other thing is, of course, where we have the opening, I'm going to push those edges in, okay, to sew that opening shut. All right, so I've got that position, and you'll probably want to clip that with your little clippies. Make sure you get all your layers in there. We'll put another clip on there. And I'll probably put a third clip just because I want it to stay where I want it to stay. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and begin top stitching. All right, so let's start our top stitching, and I am going to reverse this. And I'm gonna go a little bit slower. I'm gonna pivot. Okay, there we go. And I told you you're gonna hear some thumping, because remember, I'm going over some serious seams here. Okay, torn around the corner. coming up on another seam. Makes a thumping noise, I know. Now, I'm going to have one more corner to go around, and then we're going to hit that area that we need to close. Okay, I can see them coming up on that. So I'm probably going to cheat just a little bit to outside to get those layers that I folded in. Take my clips off. All right, our top stitching is finished, and here's our microwave bowl. Very nice. It's got our feature fabric and our lining fabric. Typically when I make these as a gift, I make two. So feature fabric, this has a blue lining. Akron's colors are blue and gold, so the other one that I've made has a gold lining. Nest them inside each other, makes a great gift. Easy. All right, so please stop in to the Tri-County store and pick up your complimentary pattern, okay, to make your microwave bowls. And make sure you tune in every day for Luke's 12 days of stocking stuffers, starting tomorrow with project number 2. Till then, it's Luke's Sewing Center.